Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Velo Senso TT cycling saddle. The Senso series of saddles is one of Velo's most diverse offerings and has options that'll satisfy everything from an entry-level cyclist to professional cyclist. Today we're going to be looking at their latest addition, the Senso TT saddle. This combines Velo's proprietary shock absorbent materials and rail design with a short nose profile for more flexibility on the bike. You can see packaging wise, it's very simple. You have their nice black and silver graphics on here. It really looks very premium and really presents well. We have the Senso TT Plus, which is the wider version. You can see basic specs written on here. Website on the side. And that's about it. So nice simple cardboard packaging. Go ahead and open it and go over the specs. So retail price on this is $85 or $145 depending on which rail you choose. If you choose the more expensive carbon rails, that'll be the $145 price. It's a 244 millimeter length, so it's a short nose variation. So it's quite a bit shorter than a traditional saddle. And they offered in two different widths, the narrow width, which is 148 millimeters, or the wide one, which we have here, which is the Senso TT Plus, which you can see is 158. It has the Airform material, which is their proprietary shock absorbent material that's supposed to be 30% better than traditional PDU material. You have their AirTech rail technology. So that's a special hinge design where you can see the rail kind of comes in and then is almost cantilevered in for more flexibility and again, shock absorption. They offered in a few colors too. You can see the main body's black, but then this outer glossy section can either be black, silver, red, or blue, depending on which saddle you choose. In terms of what comes with the box, it's essentially it. You get the saddle and this nice little foam holder to hold it in place. Now let's take a look at the weight of the saddle. We have the TT Plus, which is the wider variation, so it's going to be a little bit heavier. So this is 272, which is not bad. It's far from the lightest saddle in the market, but for $85, it's still quite competitive. Now let's take a look at the fit and finish of the Senso TT saddle. Even though it has TT in the name, it's not a time trial specific saddle. Instead, it's kind of a general use racing or entry-level cycling saddle. It offers a lot of comfort with that nearly flat profile and then the proprietary material. You can see the top material is this flat kind of grippy material. This is their Airform cushioning too, so you can see it's about 30% more cushioning than traditional PDU material, easy to clean, and it's supposed to have more shock absorption. You have these anti-slip material near the front, and this holds you in place. Note they also have a Senso Tri version of this, which extends that anti-slip material all the way on the front, as you generally spend more time on the nose when you're in a time trial or a triathlon. You have this glossy accent material all the way around it, which gives it a pretty sleek look, so you can see all the way around. And this is what you can also switch out for different colors. We have black here, but they have the red, blue, and even a silver version. You have Velo written right on the front with their glossy silver font on there. And then the center pressure relief cutout that extends all the way through. And their little cutout on the back that gives a little bit more style. You can see the top material wraps all the way around and kind of tucks underneath here, so it should be easier to clean. And then it tucks all the way up the front and covered up by these little attachment points. Now we don't have the carbon version of the rails. We have the kind of titanium alloy variation, but you can see still looks pretty good and wide range of adjustability. So you want to keep it between the start and stop marks. You have the AirTech rail design, so you can see how it kind of comes in and then it goes in and cantilevers in. So that's supposed to provide more flexibility for the saddle, so it can actually flex back and forth. And again, more shock absorption. You can see that center cutout. Whenever you have a center cutout, you need to support it around it, and you can see they've done that with the bottom base plate. In terms of the profile itself, we have the wide variation, so you can see pretty wide on the back, and then a slight curvature up to hold you in place. With the short nose, you can see everything's kind of tucked in. Typically, this would extend a bit further out, but if you have it in a short nose, it's a lot more comfortable. It'll let you move around on the saddle a lot easier. In order to test the saddle, we installed it on our Priority Ace of Spades bike, which is a great city or urban bike. And the saddle itself was well suited for that, as there's great padding for on or off-road riding. And then the short nose profile makes it quite comfortable as you can really adjust your saddle position for both drops or the hoods. The saddle itself we found to be quite comfortable, especially in the wider variation. It's a non-slip material, so you don't really move around. And once they're seated on there, it's quite comfortable. Of course, we recommend trying this out for yourself and make sure you get the right width for your anatomy. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Velo Senso TT saddle. What we like about it is that it's a very accessible price. At under $100, it's quite affordable. It also has padding that both absorbs shock and has a non-slip cover on top of it, so it's very comfortable. And with the short nose profile, you have a lot of flexibility in terms of saddle positions, so you can ride the drops or the hoods. Some of the cons for the saddle is the fact that the color options are limited to the accent color, so there's not too many graphic options or other variations currently available. Taking everything into account, we'd give the saddle a 9.1 out of 10. It's a budget-friendly performance saddle that's great for road cycling, commuting, or anything in between. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclists. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.